Welcome to the Susan LoPresti Wellness Mind, Body, and Soul podcast. This is the go-to space for midlife and mature women who are ready to reclaim their health, boost their energy, and live long, vibrant, and purposeful lives. Each week, we dive deep into natural wellness, holistic healing, anti-aging strategies, and healthy lifestyle to help you feel your best physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Whether you're navigating menopause, working through chronic conditions, or simply wanting to age gracefully and intentionally, this show is your sanctuary for science-backed insights, powerful stories, and soul-nourishing inspiration. If you're a woman over 40 or 50 or older and you're looking to thrive in the next chapter of your life, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving into a topic that most people never think about, but absolutely should. How the simple, everyday choices that we make, specifically what we wear, can dramatically affect our posture, our energy, spinal health, and overall longevity. Joining us is the incredible Dr. Sherry McAllister, Doctor of Chiropractic and President of the Foundation of Chiropractic Progress. Dr. McAllister is a global leader in spine health education and an author of the new Forbes-published book, Adjusted Reality, Supercharge Your Whole Body for Optimal Living and Longevity. With decades of clinical expertise, advanced science, and training, and a passion for helping people thrive, Dr. McAllister is here to break down the surprising connection between clothing, spinal load, posture, and how we move through the world, especially during the winter months when heavy coats can add up to 60 pounds of extra stress to the body. This is an empowering conversation packed with simple, actionable insights that can help you look good, feel aligned, and protect your long-term health. Let's welcome Dr. McAllister to the show. Dr. McAllister, welcome to the podcast. I'm so excited to have you here, and I'm excited for this conversation today.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. So I want to start, for those who are new to your work, can you share what inspired you and your passion for chiropractic work and also for whole being wellness?
Absolutely. Well, I believe this profession chose me. I didn't technically choose it. So it was happenstance. I was studying as a 19-year-old in a genetics lab, and I was all into cellular molecular microbiology, and I was working at the Children's Hospital. I wanted to be a pediatric oncologist. And a long story short, I got into a car accident, and the very last choice I was given after opiates and orthopedists and neurologists and physical therapists and physiatrists, one of my lab mates came up and said, "Hey, have you tried chiropractic?" And I just kind of rolled my eyes and said, "If that worked, why wasn't I given it as a choice?" And he goes, I don't know, but you got nothing to lose. And actually, he was right. I had nothing to lose. It was my last ditch effort to get rid of these just monumental headaches that I had. And the very first time I walked into the office, I was 100% against doing this, but I thought, let's just try it. My arms are crossed. I am rolling my eyes. And it was one of the first times someone actually took me to my x-rays and explained them to me, and then shared with me that the treatments that I've been taking and given are really not getting to the root. And that didn't make sense to me, but I went along with it. And I heard what he said, that the root cause is, in fact, the nervous system is being irritated and that we needed to align you. And I thought, well, it seems way too simple to be actually true. But I went through the treatment, and I had 6 months of everyday headaches, and the kind of headaches you don't want to think anymore. And I walked out of his office and the headache was gone.
Wow.
And for the first time I thought, well, that's a huge fluke. I didn't think that this could be possible. And so I thought, tomorrow I'm going to wake up and I'm going to go to the lab and the same thing is going to happen all over again. And I was pleasantly surprised that that headache never came back. And I was in awe that that was my last choice. And I'll be perfectly honest, everything was falling apart. When you have chronic, very serious pain, it really does shut you down. It shuts out your happiness, it shuts down your energy, and you have a hard time concentrating on anything. So you start to lose hope. And
Hmm.
I just recognized that chiropractic was there and it created a coping mechanism. And the hope came back, and here I am now with you.
Wow, what an incredible story that is. You would have never thought what you were going through would it's almost like a simple, easy fix, right?
Agreed. And that's exactly why adjusted reality became such an important perspective for me is
Yes.
when we recognize the simplicity of this fantastic body that we've been given and
Dr.
we
McAllister, can I ask you to turn up your volume a
oh,
little bit?
absolutely. There we go. Is that better for you?
Yeah.
Beautiful. When I recognized that the body has a unique way of talking to us, and that now we're starting to see the neurology and the science behind what really does create a better balanced life. It really comes down to the brain and the nervous system, and the system itself needs no interference. It just really needs to be able to do what it's supposed to do. We just need to clear the way for it, and that's what adjusted reality is looking at the big picture on the choices we make during our day, and then how we're aligning or balancing our everyday lifestyle to maximize our nervous system.
Hmm. So you just wrote a new book, Adjusted Reality, that focuses on optimizing health and longevity. I was going to ask you what was the driving force behind it, but clearly I already have that. Wow, that is incredible. What a success story.
Thank you.
And so you're completely pain-free at this point in your life?
I am, and I am very, very aware that if I allow my body and my lifestyle to get out of alignment, it is very easy to see muscular tension and things just kind of get out of control. You get that kind of overburden of stress. You can feel it in your body. It may not be pain, but you know you're not sleeping well, perhaps you're not eating well, and all of a sudden you start thinking, I'm not as coherent as I used to be, like quick facts and finding things that I used to find simple and in memorization or thinking about research. You start to recognize as you go through what you're going through is a next step that you're not in alignment. And I would love to see our communication to the world as crisp, content, and vital. And when we make choices that are perhaps less than ideal, we end up having the less than ideal moments in our life.
Yes. So when you say make choices, are you talking food choices, the lifestyle habits? Give us a little bit of what you
It's
mean by.
a fantastic question. And so, what we've done is we've put together a whole being approach. And that's really where the focus of the profession has always been in chiropractic is when you look at if you've become in a dis-ease, there's a model that is taking care of you. It's called the disease model treatment. But then there is the preventative and optimization treatment, the healthcare opportunity. True health comes from trying to make choices that are best for you and then go on that journey with a healthcare provider that really is looking at you as a whole. And so in the book, Adjusted Reality, the paradigm shift from sick care to well care starts with 7 pillars. And the 7 pillars are really it's a mountainous journey, which I think we're all on. We're all kind of on our own journey. Some of us take the long way, some of us take the short way, but we're all on this journey together. And not every day is a perfect day, and we shouldn't expect it to be. There's going to be on your mountain's journey, there's going to be clutter in the way, there's going to be slips and falls. So the book really brings you into and adopts you as the main character with the self agency that is critical. And the seven pillars start with investment. Then we move to the next one, which is replenishment, and then movement, adjustment, contentment, and then revitalizement. And sorry, I threw in nourishment was number three. So there's seven pillars that really we have to look at as we go through our lives, and just be very honest with yourself, because the choices you make will either spiral you into a better life or spiral you out of balance and create that dis-ease that we
Mhm.
end up, if untapped and unlooked at, end up you're sick or you're just not performing as you used to. And sometimes chronic pain becomes one of those critical pieces that throws everything out of balance.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. I mean, my mom has terrible stenosis. She's 90 years old and she's with pain every day and she's tried so many different modalities, but chiropractic has not been one of them. So that may help her.
Well, there's something really beautiful about recognizing where you've been. And I like to say sometimes we feel like we're lost. We're nowhere. And someone comes along, like in my case, and gave me a card to a chiropractor. And I really was lost. I didn't know what are the choices I should make and how should I make them. And so I went from nowhere on a GPS coordinate, no one could find me. How do you find someone who's nowhere, to finally figuring out that I'm now here? I'm now seen by a practitioner who can hear me, understand, and teach me what I need to know moving forward, and then be able to adopt better habits. And so much of our focus lately has been, one piece. It's been like do one small micro choice a day. That's nice, but you need to actually know why. Many of us should adopt that thinking process of why I'm making the choice for myself. Because if you choose to have chocolate cake before bed, then you should understand that that chocolate cake has caffeine in it. And it may not be the best night's sleep, but you can still have it. But the reality now is you've adjusted, knowing that I'm going to have a little bit of a difficult night's sleep, but it's so worth having that chocolate cake.
Right,
That's the difference. That's the adjusted reality difference.
right. So I want to go on to talk about the clothing aspect. So I'm a New Yorker. It's cold already, and I always have on layers and bundles, but I never thought how that could affect spinal health. I never
Yes,
did.
me
And,
too.
and winter is a long time here in New York. It starts like the end of October all the way through March. So let's talk about that for a moment.
I really think that the choice of clothing you wear when it's cold out has the impact on your body. And how does that work? It's the center of gravity. When you put on a heavy coat, especially if it's made of leather or wool, two things happen. Number one, it bundles you into a more restrictive situation. So you don't have the same range of motion that you would if you were, say, without your winter coat. So you have to first reflect that you don't have the same flexibility you did. Number two, if it's really heavy, which I have a beautiful wool coat that I absolutely love, and as soon as I put it on, I feel my shoulders, they roll forward and they get pulled down, and you
Yeah.
immediately feel that. Now, the question is, what does the rest of your body do to that change when your shoulders roll forward? And our bodies naturally, it's the most beautiful thing, will compensate for the environment that we're in. So, when you actually move forward, it's the center of gravity. And now, instead of having your center of gravity where your head is right over your pelvis, now your pelvis has to shift, which means your lower back muscles have to shift as well.
Oh,
So that actually creates more tension in your spine. Now, if you think about a heavy coat, if you go to the gym right now and you pick up a 2 pound weight, it's only 2 pounds. Take it away from your body and hold it out perpendicular for 15, 20 minutes. I guarantee you'll feel the load on your spine. And you
yes.
can go for a heavy winter coat from 20 pounds up to 60 pounds of spinal loading, and you can be really fatigued by the time you get to where you want to go.
Yeah. I never thought of that really, but I know what you're talking about because, and it's not just the coat, it's the scarf, it's the hat, it's the handbag that you have on your shoulder that's weighing you down the other way. So it's a lot of weight. And then what about the shoes that you're wearing as well? If you're in
Absolutely critical.
heels,
That's right. You put on a beautiful pair of boots that may have a 1, 2, or Lord forbid, 3 or 4 inch heel on them.
right?
Now you're shifting your pelvis forward again. So all of these kind of micro shifts cause this internal unconscious tug of war with your jacket, your shoes, and your purse. And you mentioned something really beautiful about your handbag is, people will say, well, I have a crossbody bag, and they think that's all it. But truthfully, it's about the weight in our bags. And let's
Yes.
be honest, many women, they tend to stick as much as they can in that bag to have everything they need, but then they wear it on their left shoulder only. So what happens to the right side? Well, I'm always recommending, shift your bag. Going to work, you put it on your left. Leaving work, you put it on your right. So
Yeah.
it's this small change of how your body's going to manage the balance, just like the mindset. It's all about balance.
Yes. I'm guilty of the handbag. It's always on my right shoulder. And when I look at myself in the mirror, I always look a little tilted. And then, like, I try to readjust. But that's my natural way of standing because from school, when I was in school, a heavy book bag always on my right shoulder. And then working, my lunch was in there, my makeup was in there, my wallet. And so I totally agree with you on that. So what would be one of the better fabrics for a coat that would be lighter weight but yet still keep you warm?
Well, the new fabrics that are coming out that down fill like, so you have that natural fabric without the heavy down perspective.
Yeah.
There's lots of new nylons that are coming out into the market that not only are flexible, so you can move easily, your arms will move, but also have a warmth pattern to them. And I also want to encourage you, if you're buying a long coat, be respectful that it's going to change your gait because you're going to have smaller steps.
Oh,
And many
yeah.
people don't recognize that. So I would highly recommend in balance and alignment that you have one of those zippers that allows you to zip all the way up, but also the zip from the bottom up. So it gives you that kind of open gait analysis. Because if you're on slippery ice, say you're in New York and it snowed, you want to be able to have a good gait, but also our bodies are designed to respond quickly if we treat them right. So what ends up happening if we're not well tuned, meaning that we're not doing our own movement patterns that keep our balance in check, it's
Hmm.
harder for us to catch ourselves. And when you're in a tight coat and it's crossed over your knees, it's harder to catch before you hit the ice. So
Yes.
be really cautious of the longer coats and also the zippers. Sometimes they do these asymmetrical zippers. Well, guess what? That in and of itself could be a problem, or these beautiful adornments on our coat that just weigh us down even more.
Yes, absolutely. How could someone tell if their coat is too heavy or too bulky or too restrictive?
Well, the very first thing that you should recognize is when you put it on, do you feel the weight? That's number one. If you can feel that shoulder down, roll forward feeling, now we all love our coats, and if it's a beautiful jacket, just be respectful that this jacket is heavy, and the longer I wear it, the more micro adjustments I have to make to my spine. And
Hmm.
we at the end of the day, we're trying to be balanced, and that really is a key. If it's restricting your range of motion significantly, be aware of that, because if you're adding on a purse or you're going to have to do a walk that is going to take you up some stairs. We just came from an airport and it was the longest escalator I've ever seen in my life. And I was thinking, if you did have a little bit of a topsy-turvy jacket and you were a little bit out of balance, well, you want to be able to move quickly when you need to move quickly. So
Yes.
when you put it on, take a mental note. And know if you're going on a long journey, the lighter the jacket, the better for you.
Yeah. I want to ask you about, so for myself, I sit at a desk for about 8 hours a day. What kind of a chair would you recommend, or what do you recommend as far as taking breaks, what we should do to loosen up our body? Because you're leaning over your shoulders, and I'm talking about myself right now. My shoulders are tight. What do you recommend for someone who sits long periods of time?
If you have the ability, a sit stand desk can be a real lifesaver because now you're getting up in movement. So it's not that you're sitting and it's not that you're standing all day. It's the fact that you're stuck in a position all day. So
Yeah.
you standing like the nurses, they're standing all day. And while they're moving, that's the beautiful part. But if you're standing all day in one position, that's really hard on your body. And if you're like, you think about, I just mentioned the airlines, the airline stewardess, they're always moving. That's a blessing. But the people that are behind the desks and giving you service, they're standing in one position. So a sit stand desk is ideal. Then you want to make sure that you're looking into the middle of your screen because so many of us have these haphazard setups where it's on a book or you're on a laptop and you're running around the house if you're at work at home. So make sure that you're directly looking into your screen. That's a big key. Second to that is when you sit down in your chair, your knees should be at 90 degrees or just slightly higher if you put your feet up on a box or a chair so that you don't have to strain your lower back. And if you have an opportunity, even if your chair is not the greatest chair, and you can put a small pillow behind it just to give it a little extra support, you're in great shape. So, do you have to go out of your way and buy these really expensive ergonomic chairs? Great idea, but you don't have to. You can make do with just setting yourself up ergonomically. But as I said, movement's going to be the king. You have to be able to get up. And when you do so, let's say you're going to go grab another cup of tea or a hot beverage on a cold night, get up and do some stretches. Like actually, when you get up, train your brain to get up and do a stretch. Maybe it's just a neck stretch, left and right.
Mhm.
Maybe it's bending over and stretching out your hamstrings because when you sit for long periods of time, it's the asymmetry of the front of your muscles in your leg and the back of your muscles. It's always a give and take. The body is remarkable, but you have to be able to understand what it's saying to you. It's a language of its own. And when you get up and you feel that tightness,
Yes.
time to stretch.
Very good advice. Very, very good. Thank you. So your book emphasizes whole being alignment. How does your spinal health ripple to affect your energy, mood, and also your longevity?
Oh, there's so much to be said for the nervous system, and it's such a beautiful system. You think of the nervous system like a highway system. It goes all the way down from the brain into the toes. Many people don't really give it the respect that it's due, and we're starting to now just learn how important the nervous system is. It is your number one system. And if we're not taking care of it, it becomes, for lack of a better word, haywire. It just goes and does what it should do, but not in synergy anymore. So when we're starting to talk about whole being care, we're looking at the person as a whole. What are all of the pieces that come together for that individual? And so think of the nervous system like a highway. If you want to get from here to there very fast, take care of your nervous system. And that means alignment and balance of choices that you make. Now, if there's a car accident, here's the problem. It's going to take you longer to get to work because you're going to have to wait in line to get to where you need to go. That's the nervous system. So we have two parts to our nervous system. There is the fight and flight, which is, holy cow, I'm in fear and stress, and your body will adapt to that. That's the beauty of what the body's supposed to do. And then there is the rest and digest. That's the second part of our nervous system. Those two pieces have to be in balance. That's the harmony we're striving for. If you're always on and you're always highly stressed, high digital imprint, high level of communication, you've got your to-do list and it is 300 check marks. You're firing off in that fight or flight. What happens when someone comes into your life and says, wow, I only have 2 check marks? That's how you need to balance. You need to say, everyone has a to-do list, but that's one part, sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight. But what about your to-be list? And that's your parasympathetic. I want to be relaxed. I want to be enjoying my life. I can't get around this car accident. I'm going to be late for work. And then you're going to continue to have these incoherent parts that come up. I have back pain. I have headaches. I have brain fog. Versus the person who gets up, feels refreshed and ready to go. The person who can find lunch hour and just sit for 10 minutes and think about the things that make them happy. It's all a combination. It's an ecosystem of balance. And we are the purveyors of taking care of this beautiful ecosystem. Number one, the nervous system, and finding someone who can come on that journey with you, which is a healthcare provider focused on the balance. And that's where chiropractic fits in so beautifully.
Mm-hmm. That's great advice. I love this. So, for mature women in midlife and beyond, what is one of the most important chiropractic or posture related insights that you wish everyone understood at that time of their life?
You ask very, very good questions. And regardless of your age, because I think this is one of those moments where we can reflect on age is a number. And I had this unique opportunity to meet with, you may remember Jack LaLanne. Jack,
Yes.
so he's a fitness guru, and his lovely wife went with him on the journey. And Jack was all about movement and nourishment and all of the pieces. And one day I had a moment with his lovely wife, Elaine LaLanne, and she said something beautiful. Age is just a number. She's now 99 years old. And she
Wow.
said to me, I do not have a single pain. And I said, wow, I'm I'm thoroughly impressed. She goes, I said, why do you think that is? Why at 99 are you feeling so energized? And she said, because my husband was a chiropractor. And I said, tell me more. And she said, he was so fascinated by movement and strength and nourishment that we lived our life with gratitude because we felt so good all of the time. And we wanted to reflect on what that looks like. So, first and foremost, I wanted to take from Elaine LaLanne because she's such a beautiful woman. At 99 years old, she's still out there exercising and eating well. But the other part of this as we age is we start to lose our type 2 fibers, which are our fast twitch fibers. Well, then you'd say, well, what does that mean? It means that it's harder for you to balance. You naturally lose your balance. And when you know that, then you have to do better. So what do I do, Dr. McAllister? You have to work on it every day. That's your choice. It's an agency choice. And when I say strength training, I'm not talking go to the gym and lift 300 pounds as a 99-year-old woman. I
Right.
mean, get the 1 pounds out and start lifting those throughout the day. Build your muscle, because when you build your muscle, you build those type 2 fast twitch fibers so that you can respond before you slip on that ice and you catch your balance. That's really the critical part. Don't think about your age. Think of your agility. That's where I think we all need to go.
That is excellent advice. Excellent. Yes, balance is key because as we're getting older, a slip and fall could actually be the end of your life.
You're 100% right.
Yeah. Any other balancing techniques would you offer besides just weightlifting?
Well, I do have a very good one that I think works very well for myself. The American Dental Association wants you to brush your teeth for 120 seconds. Okay, let's say we all brush our teeth twice a day, which many of us don't, but that's okay. Even if you get in 120 seconds, you're in good shape. So let's say you combine that 120 seconds and you started. Now be very careful. You want your bathroom counter right beside you, and you started brushing your teeth and you just lifted one leg and started to balance. And every day, maybe you went to 12 seconds, 15 seconds. Keep close to the counter. You always want to be safe. But
Yes.
then you alternate and you do maybe you brush the upper part of your teeth and your left leg goes up. Maybe you brush the bottom of your teeth and your right leg goes up. Those are those very sincere changes in working on your balance that could make amazing results as we start to age.
I love that. Tonight, when I brush my teeth, I'm standing up.
And that's your adjusted reality right there.
Yes, absolutely. So let's do some final thoughts. What is one thing women can start doing today to support their spine and their overall well-being?
I believe that, as a general statement, women are nurturers by nature. They
Yes,
like to network with other people, and they're often always talking on the phone. They love that. Pick up the phone. It's someone my age is more likely to pick up a phone than text. But regardless of that, the research is showing that we tend to pick up our phone at a minimum of 113 times a day. That's a lot. So, what we want to do as a final thought in thinking about how you can be better for others is show others the right way. So, if you think about picking up your phone, think of four words: in, up, back, down. In, up, back, down. So, as soon as you pick up your cell phone, your elbow goes in, then your hand comes up, and then your shoulders go back and down, in, up, back, down. Now, when you use this small mechanism 113 times a day, remember the nervous system is the most important thing you own, and nerves that wire together fire together. Okay. So if you can now make this a habit and you do the right thing, you know what's going to happen? People are going to look at you and go, oh, she's got great posture. Look at how she's holding her phone. She's not in that forward head space. So
yes,
practice makes permanent, not perfect. You have to
permanent.
practice that. So in, up, back, down. People will see you. They'll see you doing it right. And it's contagious. When someone has good posture, other people in the room, they'll just sit up better.
This has been fabulous, fabulous. Where can my listeners find you?
You can find me at Dr. Sherry McAllister. Actually, I'll give you our website, which will help a lot of people find more information on if they want to find the chiropractor. It's the number 4, cp.org/adjusted reality. So if you want to find the doctor, it's the number 4, cp.org/find a doctor. So many people ask me all the time, where do I find a chiropractor? You go to that directory and you'll find someone within a radius of 3 to 5 miles or maybe even closer. That's one of the steps you can take today is find someone who can help you prevent problems or optimize your current state. I think that's key. And you can find me on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook just by putting in my name, Sherry McAllister. You'll find me. Adjusted Reality can be bought at Target or Walmart or anywhere you buy books.
Amazon as well.
Yes.
Dr. McAllister, this was so enlightening. Thank you so much. I thoroughly enjoyed this conversation with you today.
Likewise. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for joining us for this eye-opening conversation with Dr. Sherry McAllister. I hope today's episode helped you see just how much the little choices we make, like the coats we wear, the loads we carry, and the way we hold ourselves, can influence our energy, our comfort, and our long-term spinal health. Dr. McAllister's insights remind us that wellness isn't about big, dramatic changes. It's about awareness, alignment, and making small, supportive adjustments that help us feel lighter, stronger, and more balanced every day. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone you care about. Your support helps this community to grow and helps more women discover the tools they need to rejuvenate their mind, body, and soul. To learn more about Dr. McAllister's work and her new book, Adjusted Reality, be sure to check out the links in the show notes. As always, thank you for tuning in. for caring about your wellness and for taking steps each week to elevate your life. Until the next time, be well, stay aligned, and keep nourishing your whole being.